Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Musalia Mudavadi met with Francis Atwoli. That meeting happened in Musalia Mudavadi's communication center in Riverside, and I want us to look at that meeting critically. But to make you best get a bearing, I want us to trace the moments before Atwoli met Mudavadi. Atwoli had been out of the country in Egypt for some, I think I need to confirm, international something. Yes, I think I saw it. Yeah. He was actually out on behalf of Kenyan workers. Yes. On Africa, international platform, I think for the Africa, yes. Yesterday afternoon, I paid courtesy call to my counterpart in Egypt, the Secretary General of Egyptian General Agriculture Workers Union, Bro Aid Mashal, at the union headquarters in Cairo. So that was on Saturday. Atwoli was in Egypt. So when he flew in the country yesterday, today in the morning, before he met Musalia Mudavadi, and we will look at the tweet on when Mudavadi released that information. This morning, during a meeting with the team from KQ, led by the group CEO and MD Alan Kilavuka, Kenya Airline Pilots Association, KALPA, and Kenya Aviation Workers Union, we discussed the industrial relations concerns raised by the two unions against the management. So he held this meeting, and that is what you're seeing on the screen. He held this meeting before then driving to Riverside, where he met Musalia Mudavadi. Now, this meeting by Musalia Mudavadi, that is the photo you are seeing on the screen with the tweet. This afternoon, and this was shared by Mudavadi himself, this afternoon, COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli paid me a courtesy call. Paid me a courtesy visit. We consulted on matters development and unity in Western region. We agreed we have no option as leaders but to consolidate. Go with me, a very direct interpretation, and I will convince you that the meeting between Atwoli and Mudavadi was highly influenced by the meeting between Atwoli at the KQ team. You will get to understand that something really played out, and I have done my fact finding really to the core. So if you look at that photo between Atwoli and Mudavadi, first you'll acknowledge kwamba the meeting was held in Musalia Mudavadi Center. So the person that of course alienda ni him. And Atwoli is the person that might have pushed, or rather might have called for that meeting, because the person who went there. Mudavadi used the photo conveniently to vouch for the Western unity. Remember, Atwoli have not shared the photo in his Twitter page or so. He has not shared that photo. This is a man that was so vocal on Azimio campaigns and really showed disdain to William Ruto's style of politics. Remember Kateni Miti. You remember the Kateni Miti slogan, as William Ruto on the other side used to call him Zoenyororo. And it was a very ugly outburst in the campaign trail. Now, this is something that I want you to understand. Musalia Mudavadi is the chief cabinet minister. And this is why I am persuaded that Atwoli might have rushed to Mudavadi after meeting the KQ staff. Now, this is the truth. KQ have had a strained relationship with the government. If you remember, the media confrontation between KQ and Rigathi Gachagua, when Rigathi Gachagua said that KQ is going through losses because powerful people that had been in government captured the planes there, that were hiring the planes to the KQ are hiring at a higher price, and that is why the operation cost is so high that KQ is going through losses. Now, if you followed Musalia Mudavadi's vetting in the parliament, you will also understand that he has investment in aeroplanes. So, one of the person that hires aeroplanes in this country is Musalia Mudavadi. And in that meeting, Atwoli was also representing the COTU. While what is the interest of Mudavadi? The Pilots Association had issued a notice, I think 1 week ago, that they wanted to down their tools. In real sense, apart from any other political engagement they can have, Mudavadi have vested interest in KQ. That's what I'm saying. Mudavadi have interest in KQ. And it's likely possible that Atwoli was in that meeting with Mudavadi. One, on a political level. Two, it could be as an effect of what they had discussed from the previous meeting. I don't know what you think about this aspect. When I was just doing peer analysis, one of my friends was saying that could be Atwoli is also just reaching out to William Ruto because he wants some sort of a handshake with the government, and is a man who doesn't have a stand. Seems he knows how to survive. One thing you will give him credit, he knows how to survive. And even in 2013, Atwoli was not with President Uhuru Kenyatta, but alikuwa nyuma ya Raila, and when Raila went to the handshake, he was fully behind the handshake, and that's how things moved. I have tried to do my research on what really is at stake for Atwoli. He was elected last year as for the 5th term as the COTU Secretary General, and he's been there for the last 20 years. Remember, he took over that from 2001 from Joseph Joy Mugala, and so his tenure runs to 2026. Of course, COTU is also a member of NSSF board. I think NSSF board. Atwoli was a member actually of NSSF board, and by the virtue of being SG of COTU, he's a member of other statutory bodies within government. So, by all sense, he's also a man that would want to be, is very comfortable and safe when he's in a friendly, he has a friend relationship, a cordial relationship with the government of the day. Because in Ruto's government, there is a lot of revisit, I can tell you. Things that maybe did not go right, and someone thinks this, there is a lot of revisit. So in this context, I want us to narrow down and look at this in a more clear, in a very open perspective. That what do you think will influence Musalia Mudavadi to consolidate Western? The answer is very clear. William Ruto had successfully used the Western region to get to presidency. I'm saying that because the 49,000 votes, which is the +1 vote that Chebukati decided to declare William Ruto the president-elect, that 49,000 could still be got from Vihiga, from Kakamega. And so, I see Musalia Mudavadi in a very well-thought scheme to rip off William Ruto's raids in Western, and Mudavadi will rescue his popularity by having Atwoli on his back. Because there are avenues. You know, one thing I've had a luxury at one point of covering one of his press conferences. Atwoli is a very, I won't say he's a critical thinker. Is one who is very projective, always likes speaking about the future. It's now in public that there is a likelihood that Raila Odinga might not even vie in 2027. So Atwoli might be just opening the mind of Mudavadi that, look here, for you to make a future, and you need to consolidate Western. And you know, he has known very well that interest of Mudavadi is now to use that position to consolidate Western, because he had lost it. In 2017, he got, is it 17 or 14 MPs? Now he has 5 from Western. Moses Wetangula is now, the Ford Kenya is almost dying. So Mudavadi needs to emerge because he's in a prime position that he can use to influence a lot of things on ground compared to Moses Wetangula. So I see Atwoli exploiting Mudavadi's interest of consolidating Western. And with that, we can work together. That will be a very key aspect that you can look at it. But where do you think, what did you think would have prompted Atwoli to meet Mudavadi after the KQ stuff? This is it. There is a lot of business interest at the airport, at the KQ, which Mudavadi is also a shareholder, of course. He has already said in this country that he also owns planes, higher planes. So Mudavadi Atwoli is simply using Mudavadi to get the voice of government or to get audience with the government over the issue. And I might have realized that the soft spot is Musalia Mudavadi. This will be a very key aspect. Now, could it be possible that Atwoli is also feeling threatened? And is it a possibility that even COTU is getting neglected in these negotiation tables? Is COTU getting neglected? Why am I saying this? Huh? Let me tell you, it's government that orchestrated mass exodus of teachers from NAT. And they were in a position to bring down NAT and neutralize completely ODM nominated MP Wilson Sossion. Now, what they can even do for Mudavadi, for COTU, is just to engineer mass exodus. These associations, COTU is the central organization of Kenyan workers, of trade unions. So, if we engineer mass exodus like what was done, the massacre that was meted on COTU, of course, Atwoli will feel threatened. He will still be in that position to 2026, but without the people there. So I see Atwoli also taking cover. Very strategic cover. And when you take Mudavadi, he needs that cover. And to some extent, who knows, Mudavadi will get to Buhungu Stadium next year and say Mudavadi as the next kingpin. Atwoli will do that. So, let me tell you another window. Oh, I was even forgetting. Remember last year during the elections of COTU, Seth Panyako, who was vying against Atwoli, was disqualified last minute. And he said that the people that elected Atwoli, I think the secretariat that elected Atwoli unanimously, were already formed. They were brought together by Atwoli and they masterminded the same thing. So a court case is already in High Court by Seth Panyako challenging the election of Atwoli. That was there. He challenged it in court. So I'm throwing that your way so that it broaden your thought in terms of what could be at play. But then I see Atwoli simply trying to use Musalia Mudavadi to trigger Ruto attention. Yes. You know, and Mudavadi has fallen for it. Mudavadi has said, we are meeting for development and Western Union, Western unity. That Western unity interest, the regrouping around Musalia Mudavadi, kills the interest of William Ruto of successfully using the region even in 2027. And I wonder how Ruto will go back and say, I gave Mudavadi 30%. It was never given. So that regrouping where people group around Musalia Mudavadi, the interest of Atwoli. Atwoli would just threaten, just throw something to, kumbe inaendelea. Then with that, we will go behind Atwoli and go after Atwoli, and Mudavadi will remain alone. That's how Atwoli sometimes is very cunning and is very vulnerable. That's my bold, guys. Let's meet in the next. I have a very interesting analysis, of course, in my next video. So check out for it.